This is day 120 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi shir is sponsored in the honor and in the schus of in honor of and the schus for Dina Yehudis Bas Sarah. If you would like to sponsor a upcoming shir in the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, it'd be very much appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we're supposed to be doing from Pei Beis Gimel to Pei Gimel Zayin. But last night we cheated, second night in a row, and we did Pei Beis Gimel, which was the very end of the simon, already last night. So today we are going to start from Pei Gimel Aleph, and go in Yirtzeh Hashem to Pei Gimel Zayin. And we are still involved with the halachos of Tzoa, but not quite. Now we're going to the Beis HaKisei. Tina Beis HaKisei Li'an Kriyas Shema, the Tefillah, the laws of the bathroom. Now I want to, before we start this, it's important to know the Chazon Ish says that all our bathrooms have the din of a Beis Kisei Parsa, a Persian toilet, where the Tzoa, the excrement, is immediately flushed down a hole. Evidently, in the Persian toilets back then, the Persians were known by Chazal for their hygiene. They're meticulous in, I guess, flushing it away. The Romans also had a flush system in ancient Rome for the for their refuse. But in any event, so they're always clean, and you could read Kriyas Shema in the Beis Kisei Parsa even, and the Chazon Ish, theoretically, Chazon Ish says all our bathrooms are completely clean, unless, of course, there's stuff left there, and therefore, in theory, you'd be allowed to read Kriyas Shema Daven in the bathroom, Bisman Hazeh. But our minhag is not to, because it just rub us the wrong way. So, but back then, with the time the Arukh HaShulchan was speaking about outhouses, and outhouses like today's porta potties, where the stuff is there, present, and accounted for, and therefore has to be accounted for. Okay, so Kashem Shos Likros Aleph. Kashem Shos Likros Keneged. So just like now, as we Shema opposite excrement, Kamochen Os Likros Keneged Beis HaKisei. You can read Shema opposite the bathroom, in the immediate vicinity of the bathroom. Even though the excrement is gone, since there was repugnant excrement there. Sorry, since there was excrement there, Mosu, it's repugnant. And remains in its state of prohibition. And this is not fall in the category of having a holy camp, which one is supposed to have. Beis HaKisei Chodesh was a brand new bathroom, which hasn't been used yet. Have a boy, big Gemara. There's a question in the Gemara. Mahani Zimun, if has Beis HaKisei, if the designation to be a bathroom, it's really not technically a bathroom, it's a toilet. If the designation to be a toilet is considered to be a designation and already is repugnant before it's used, imlav or not. Klomar, meaning the whole dover kaimla is manalam milsei. And normally, if you have a building which is being designated for a shul, that doesn't make it into a shul. I understand that many years ago, when the Yisrael-based medrash was being built, back in the 1970s, so late 60s, whatever it was, so I think in the 70s, it was a large cavernous space which Bachram had used to play a floor hockey. And that's totally okay because it has Hazmana Milsa, right? It's not considered to be designation, doesn't make it into the thing itself. But in terms of a toilet, because it's repugnant, even the designation is sufficient to be problematic. Mordor says that the question is only about davening and reading Shema inside that newly designated bathroom, but not yet used bathroom. But in its environment, you certainly can read Shema, Shaloya B'Tzadayin, as long as there wasn't any excrement there. That's a Ravid. The Ravid also comes Besocho Mutter, even inside its Mutter. Came to Savig Rabbanon. It's a Savig Rabbanon. Because in the old Torah we find as Maralam Milsa Mashma Das Arif. Remember, in the absence of actual excrement, so this is the Rabbanon. So therefore, There's a subject there, but whether we should say Asmani Milsa, and the rest of the Torah we don't say Asmani Milsa. Chay Mashadas Harif, and that seems to be the opinion of the Rif as well. Mikol Nebulas Kaimon Isser. We maintain that it is Osir. The Machmir Chinu Das Robot Poskim. That's the opinion of most Poskim. Gam Behira Osir, and not even allowed to think thoughts of Torah inside that new and unused bathroom. Ish Mishmeka Behira. There's those who say that to think thoughts of Torah one may do inside the new unused bathroom. The Mishnah Berurah passes away as well, that you're allowed to say think thoughts of Torah in the new unused bathroom so long as it hasn't been used. Base Umash Maladi Bagmar Sham the Keneged Base Akisi Osmolo Enov. More, it seems quite explicit that opposite the toilet, it's also to read Shema as far as you can see. So you can see the porta potty in the distance, then you can't read Shema there. Just like opposite the excrement itself. And if it's behind you, you have to get this out 4 amos from the place where the odor stops. That's right as well. Ufi says, according to this, there she's boyer. According to the opinion, which will bring down Loma Hani Mechitza, basically say that walls are ineffective in setting off the toilet. Even if it's a large, spacious, and clean chutzah. If in the corner of the courtyard there is the Beis HaKisei, can't make any bracha when you are facing towards the base the toilet. Closing your eyes also doesn't work. Nighttime doesn't work. But in terms of walls, with a different approach, like we shall see in a few minutes, since we're going to see Zion. Doesn't matter if it's a temporary Beis HaKisei or permanent Beis HaKisei. Mishnah Berurah the Bir Alocha is not sure about this. He says that maybe a temporary designation is not called a designation. Nevertheless, if you designated and used it, even for temporary purpose, and then it's a complete toilet, and it's also midoraisa to read the Shema there. But if you just designate it temporarily, then it's not also midoraisa. That's all the Mishnah Berurah. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. He also says, basically temporary Beis HaKisei, it's like a permanent one. But this is certainly true if somebody just defecated by coincidence in some place, so some Beis HaKisei, and intends to make it into a toilet, and I'll say Shem Beis HaKisei, it doesn't have the name of a toilet, and when the excrement is removed, everything is permissible. And even an old toilet, which was removed, they took down the arrows. My mother's family house in Telz in Lithuania is still standing, and my mother had gone to visit there before the Second World War, when of course before Telz was slaughtered by the Nazis, Yamach Shmam, and to visit her grandparents who still live there, my great grandparents. And after the advent of the age of the internet, we found the house on Google Maps. It's still there. We showed the picture to my mother, and she said it looks exactly the same as it looked when she was there, except that they removed the outhouses. So we see that even in the 1930s, in Telz, they were still using outhouses, at least to also in their plumbing. I don't know. I would not ask her that question. But in any event, here we moved. I'm sure there are many places where, when they get in their plumbing, they remove the outhouses. And there's no longer any need for them. I always wondered if there were tshuvas written or Sifrei Musa written at a time when the indoor plumbing brought the toilets in the house, about how this is a tremendous avla and a tremendous yirida and the kedusha and tara of Am Yisrael to bring bathrooms in the houses. I never saw anything like that, but maybe somebody wrote that then. Anyway, so he says here, we took away the outhouse, and they canceled its whole building. And they cleansed the place, and they smoothed dirt over it. You can't tell if there was ever an outhouse there. It's permissible. Hakodem, it's interesting parallel. If you have something which is tamei and you change it, and it's no longer the same shape, form, or use as before, the tuma full comes off. The koshkim is then certainly here where it's not a question of tuma, a question of nikius. Kainir lanius daiti. That's what he says here in the brackets. That this is his own svar. Dalit Omar bayis zel beis hakisei. The person said this house should be a beis hakisei. V'Omar al bayis acher begam zeh. And he said, and also this one. Have a dina bayis sheni dina rishon. They both have the status of beis hakisei. V'Av as mal beis hakisei. So they're both designated. Ukenegdo mutar, and as long as it's not used, opposite is permissible. V'socha aser. Within it is forbidden. Lo minan. We don't say came with asmana gufa ave rak sofik. Since asmana is itself a sofik, and we're just machmir. V'arayvin mutar legarmi. According to Rav, it's still permitted. According to Shom, can he's on a machmir and tocho. Maybe we're machmir in terms of the inside. But maybe that's only in the first designation. She's basically where he mentioned the word toilet. But the second house, Shetosa Barishana, which he just made in the base like he said by saying, and this one as well. The lowest scare Lashem base like he said, he didn't mention the Halay Shem base like he say on it. Mutar Sagami practically permissible. Okay, we don't say that. The Din Agrishana has the same status as the first one. Achim Lo Marabayis Hasheni Begam Zeh. But if you didn't say even Begam Zeh, also this one on the second one, Elo Bayizeh, you just said and this house, so there's no linkage of gam, right? Even though it's it's obvious that we should explain this kavanasa gankein, that his intent is also gankein basically say that this house also should be a basically say the kavanasa tashmish acher. It's because the intent was for some other purpose. Lama he's michu in linear basically say why did he juxtapose it to this first bathroom? Nevertheless, the farish came bedoichak. Since with great difficulty you can say he didn't really mean to make it into a bad toilet. Have a suffix in Zim Lokach, it's unclear, it's a suffix if he designated for that. If not, therefore you can't go lechatchila and read in that second house. But if you did it again before it's been used, you would say should be karyat kila harbe, because the primary hazmana is much lighter in this case. Okay. Hey, Vada. The prohibition read opposite a toilet, that's when it doesn't have walls. It's an open air toilet. It's got walls, I feel even has excrement. Correct, connect them. Someone can read right outside it, adjacent to it. It's not an issue. As long as you don't get the bad smell. Many poskim agree with this. It brings down parentheses here. They require that the walls be 10 tefachim high. But the commentators are going to be safe because of the Varikol base, Hakisosha is Manashas, all the outhouses at the time of the Gemara. They had walls. So when they say it's also opposite the toilet, even if it is an outhouse, has walls. The time of the reason is the walls which are made for the purpose of a toilet, the same status as the toilet. So you need another wall, which is outside the wall of the bathroom. Oh, or this wall actually is not made for the purpose of the outhouse, but for the purpose of the house. But they happen to put an outhouse on the other side of this house wall. That's mostly closely responding. Then you can say Kriya Shema and daven opposite this wall on the inside. He says here the Taz from sneaking mistapik, but this way passes. Now I feel they are zoo. Now even according to this opinion, Bimsilos Abarza in trains, first manifestation of modern technology in the Arukh HaShulchan. Sheyoshim ba'vaganin. You sit in the wagons, in the cars, in the train. In front of you, you have a toilet in that compartment. So the one of the walls of the wagon is also the wall of the toilet. The mutter b'pshitus yispal ulikros savor kenegdo. It's mutter without question to daven and to read and to make a bracha opposite this. So he brings down here in the bracket shagam b'taz matzir v'chaygavna mager avron gam ikadush b'sez v'staping shkasa make a yiresh al koponim yugo sasora al kam shoyna l'maisa. In fact, in toilets in at least in the old trains, no excrement remained in the toilet. They would immediately go down onto the tracks. I'm not sure why it doesn't bring that down, but that would be, of course, an additional reason to be made. Okay, it says in a train being mutter anyway, because obviously that wall is not going to be yuchad for the Beis HaKisei. It's a wall. It's a part of the structure of the train. Although I'm not 100% for sure I understand that, but he says anyway. You pass the Beis Yosef. This is the sivvav we were waiting for. Which the Taisa writes that they had walls. It's clear at the beginning of Tamid that no doors on no doors to the opening. The outhouses were open. Says there Rav Safra sitting in the toilet. Acha came and he snorted at him. Peish Rashi loya pesach delas. He snorted to find out there's somebody in the outhouse because the opening did not have a door. Go. That was their custom. Adam should say nocher. So he wanted to go in, would snort. But Yosham acher with somebody in there, he would snort opposite him. Abkal shor. Peter Zemucha says the Arukh HaShulchan. This must be the pshat. The Beis HaKisei shel bodeles oyanikra Beis HaKisei shel kavod. There's a special designation for Beis HaKisei which has a door. There's a Beis called Beis HaKisei shel kavod. It's actually Zion. Tonight is Zion Tishrei. And this as I'm learning this, and it's almost Yom Kippur, and this is the Gemara and the Yom Kippur of Beis HaKisei. Actually, no, it's in Talmud. Never mind. Not in Yuma. Could be his name too, but I'm not sure. So scratch that. Ignore that last comment. Okay. The Mishnah says that in Kinam Mishnah Reish Tamid says the beginning of Tamid. Shekach Beis Hamikdash. This was the Beis Hamikdash. That was the Lezel Shana Mishnah. This is a quote from the Mishnah. Medura Hasham. There was underneath in the tunnels underneath the Beis Hamikdash. There was a bonfire. Beis HaKisei shall covered, and the Beis HaKisei shall covered. What was the covered? Zeh Kvod. This was its honor. Mitzono found locked. There Shesham Adam. You knew that there was somebody there. Pasuach, he found it unopened. There was nobody there. Ayin Sham. Therefore, Yesh Etzleinu. According to the Beis HaKisei, Beis HaKavod. Never heard that before. But some people call our toilets the honor house, not the house of the seat, but the house of honor. Because it has a door. But back then, the generic house of the seats did not have house of the seat, not have a door. Of course, then you can't read opposite that. Opposite the opening, they should be shomat saw nearest, because from there you can see the excrement, or can be seen. But ours are completely enclosed. So therefore, that seals them off. Zayin, Odish writes, Beruros. It's clear, definite proofs. Sheyesh Belteknos Begisos, Shein Lahem Mechitzos Cloud. That they had bathrooms which had no walls at all. It says Brachas on Mekiva. Pam Achas Nichnasi Achar Rabbi Yeshua Beis HaKisei. I once followed Rabbi Yeshua to the bathroom. The Matin and Shlosha Dvarim. I learned from three things. Shein Nifni Mitzvah Komarav. You don't defecate between east and west. Outside and Dorm, but between north and south. B'chulei Ayin Sham. Zel Vade Dima Yoshe Rabbi Yeshua Beis HaKisei Sham Mechitzos. If Rabbi Yeshua was sitting in a stall in the Beis HaKisei with walls, Lo Yachol Liros. People couldn't see it. He wasn't going to be together with him inside the stall. And furthermore, if there were complete walls, you see how he's sitting even if he's not there. like us, ours, where there is a kisei, which faces a certain direction. There's only one way to sit. It clearly was without walls. And therefore he could sit whatever way he wanted. Rabbi Kiva stood behind him and saw how he sat. And also you can't say that they had walls but no door. You can see how the toilet is set up. And besides that, in such a case, he would have to stand opposite his face. And that would be too much chutzpah. He suddenly stood behind him. Even on this, they said it was a chutzpah, brazen to his Rebbe. Yeshiv, and he responded, "The Torah he limod ani tzarech." His response, famous response, "This too is Torah, and I must learn how it should be done."